Hey, fellow artist. In my last CBG lesson video, I promised to share how I use the scale degree markers on the sides of my instrument's necks to pick out melodies and chord progressions by ear. I was excited to finally share my method in detail during last Sunday's live stream with Corey, a CBG builder and saxophonist from Canada. Watch this video to learn about the relative hearing method that allows you to use scale degree markers to effectively pick out melodies and chord progressions on your CBG completely by ear. If you take an ear training in the USA, whether in high school choir or as a college music student, you'll likely be familiar with the method I'm using. You don't need perfect pitch to use my method, and anyone at any age can effectively use my method with practice. I encourage you to check out my method and ask questions, and please leave your questions in the comment section of this video instead of emailing me, as this helps to improve my channel's performance on YouTube. I answer my comments daily. Okay, so let's go. Hey, fellow artists, welcome to the 18th Psycheopera Creators Live, where I showcase fellow builders of musical instruments and their work, whether it's rustic cigar box guitars, traditional flutes, trash bin percussion, synthesizers, software instruments, DIY MIDI controllers, or classical guitars made by master luthiers. If it's made by humans, in a workshop, and not by machines in a factory, then I want to talk about it. Okay, so today you're seeing a different setup because I received a question about my fretboard scale degree markers after last week's live stream from Corey, who you see on the screen right here. Welcome, Corey.
Hello.
So, Corey, you're a cigar box guitar builder from Canada and a
Okay. All right.
saxophonist. Am I correct?
Yeah.
But
I've been playing Barry. Well, I haven't played for a while, but I played Barry grade 4, and I played alto too. But Barry that's the one I like. So
cool. For those of you who are not aware of what Corey and I are referencing, I'm going to show you the necks of two of my fretless sliders. What you guys are seeing now is the neck of my acid soprano CBG. And so here on the fingerboard, it's not really a fingerboard because this is a slider. I should start calling it a slide board because I don't actually finger any notes on here. Here you see fret markers, on the top of the instrument. And here I have 151 indicating the type of tuning that I'm using, and I'll get to that in a second. I don't have specific notes. For example, I don't have GDG or CGC or anything. I don't have anything specific up here because I often change the tuning according to what song I'm playing. But I'll explain what these mean. 151 is referencing scale degrees, because I think of my fretless sliders as diatonic instruments, as instruments that can really only function in one key, which makes playing them, figuring out melodies and chord progressions much simpler. On the top, these are fret markers. If I had frets on this instrument, that's where I would place them. And hidden on the side are my scale degree markers. And again, the reason I can have scale degree markers on this instrument, I think of this as a diatonic instrument. And these are referencing scale degrees that I can pull up on strings number 1 and 3. Because strings number 1 and 3 are tuned to scale degree 1 of whatever key or group of parallel keys I want to play. And I will explain all of that in just a moment. Here's another one of my fretless sliders. And you'll notice, oh my gosh, no fret markings on the fingerboard because I have them hidden on the side. So all of the valuable information is entirely on the side of the neck, hidden from the view of the people watching me play. All right. And this just leaves room for, if you want to add art to the fingerboard, or if you just want to impress people by pretending, yeah, I have just such great muscle memory, or I'm just doing this entirely by ear. I don't need any markers. I mean, really, if somebody's watching you head on, they don't notice these hidden fret and scale degree markers. So on the side of this slider, I have all of my chromatic fret markers. I also have my scale degree markers on the side. So on this perdomo, the side of the neck is doing all of the work and as far as guiding my playing. Now, Corey, you had a question about what was the difference between my fret markers and scale degree markers.
Yeah. I was just wondering if you could like what the difference is, because I didn't realize there's an actual difference, because I'm that new to playing any kind of stringed instrument, and I'm sure there's other people out there too that are kind of confused by both terms.
Okay, so what the fret markers show you is the chromatic scale according to equal temperament, and a half step is the smallest interval, the smallest space between two notes. I use templates from CBG to find the smallest distance between notes. And of course, this is a slider. It could grab notes in between notes, which makes it really, really cool. But that's what the fret markers are outlining. What the scale degree markers are, where I can find certain notes, very specific, well, not specific notes, but specific relationships. And I'll explain what that means. And so these markers help me play a particular scale, or help me find the notes for a particular melody that I want to play, or help me figure out chord progressions that I want to play. That's what they do. You see there, I have a flat 3, scale degree 4, scale degree 5, 6, 1. Now, Corey, you have a little bit of experience, or maybe a lot of experience, because you're a saxophonist with solfeggio.
Yeah, I would. That's how I would kind of like play a lot of melodies, like back when I used to play. Because sometimes there wouldn't be very interesting bari sax parts, so I would just kind of ad lib a little bit here or there. When I was in jazz band, same thing, and then that's how it kind of was I would just use the solfeggio method. But at the time, I didn't realize that that's what it was called. But now,
Right.
that's what I know. So
Well, this is the exact same thing. And the reason that it works on my cigar box guitars is because, again, my sliders are unfretted. They use 151 tuning, and you could really only be in one key when you're playing a particular instrument. For example, after you tune an instrument to, for example, GDG, you can only really play easily in G major, G minor, G Dorian, G Phrygian, G whatever. That's why scale degree markers work on my sliders. Just to explain to those of you out there who are not familiar with solfeggio systems, there are different systems of solfeggio. The system I use and reference in my videos is Movable Do, which is the system that is predominantly used here in the United States. Movable Do does not require you to develop perfect pitch. The European system, the way that they use do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, is totally different from the way that I use my syllables in the Movable Do system. Movable Do, it's a tool made for people with relative hearing, which is most people on the planet. And anyone at any age can develop good relative hearing. Movable Do, again, is simply a tool to help you contextualize the relationship between tones. It does not require you to memorize frequencies, which is basically what perfect pitch is. In movable do solfeggio, do always references scale degree 1 of a diatonic scale, whether it's major, minor, or modal. But in order to be able to talk about any other scale, we use the major scale or Ionian mode as the reference scale. And when you alter syllables from the major scale, you can build other scales. This is the reference scale in movable do. We all recognize this. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's our major scale. Well, this is kind of like the default scale in movable do. You'll notice that on my necks, I don't use do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do because it's difficult to wood burn do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do on the side of my necks. So I use scale degree numbers. The scale degree number system is just another solfeggio system, and it works exactly like movable do. Do is scale degree 1. Re is scale degree 2. Mi is scale degree 3. Fa is scale degree 4. Sol, scale degree 5. La, scale degree 6. T, scale degree 7. And then we go back to do, back to scale degree 1. That is what you see on the side of my necks. Here we have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, do. And then if you know where those notes are, you could find any other note that you need to play a song or a chord progression that you want to play. Now you notice that I use flat 3 instead of 3. On a regular guitar, the first fingerboard guide is placed above the 3rd fret. In this position, that would be marking flat 3 on a fretless CBG tuned 151. All right. And again, 151, I'm referencing do, sol, do. I'm not referencing any particular pitches. I'm just referencing relationships. This could be, again, GDG, CGC, EBE. There are many, many variations of 151. Depending on what key you want to play in, that's what you would tune your guitar to. Here's a very important note. The strings you choose for your CBG influence the 151 tuning options available. Guitar strings are designed to produce pitches E2, A2, D3, G3, B3, and E4. Based on my experience, you can tune a well-stretched string up by a maximum of a minor third, and I think most of the time that's pushing it. So keep in mind the key you want to play in when you're stringing up a particular CBG and choose the right strings for it. This CBG I have tuned to D-A-D because I'm playing a few songs in D major and D minor with my friend Pete. And just so I don't spend time retuning during rehearsal or during the performance, I have a bunch of guitars with me that I tune to different keys. It's kind of like what dulcimer players do. Dulcimers, for the most part, they don't have chromatic fretting. They use diatonic fretting. When you're dealing with diatonic instruments, you have to have different instruments to be able to play in different keys. Corey, please jump in with any questions.
I guess the first marker, so do, the first do, that would be like just open strings, right?
These would be the open strings on my cigar box guitar. Do, sol, do. To clarify, the do, sol, do 151 scale degrees can be found in various locations on the fingerboard and don't only refer to the open strings. The syllables and scale degrees do not specify a particular octave or a specific position on the fingerboard.
Okay, then the 7th do would be the that would be the octave, right? Or it'd be 7 or 8th.
We just call it scale degree 1.
1. Oh.
Because you hear it as being the same. You hear sameness when you reach the octave. If this were a scale, for example,
Yeah.
we use the same note name again when we reach the octave because we perceive the two notes as being the same. Octaves are formed by notes whose frequencies have exactly a 2-to-1 ratio in natural tuning. In equal temperament, it isn't exactly that, but we still perceive sameness with octaves in equal temperament. An octave above middle C, C4, which is 261.63 hertz in our tuning system, is C5, 523.25 hertz, which is roughly, but not exactly, double the frequency of C4. We still perceive them as being the same note. Why do we hear sameness when notes have a 2-to-1 or roughly 2-to-1 relationship? To quote Gemini, our brains interpret this 2-to-1 ratio as a fundamental harmonic relationship, making us perceive notes an octave apart as the same pitch, just at different registers. Now let's talk about the alterations, how we relate to other scales in movable do. On my fretboards, I use the numbers rather than the solfeggio because it's just easier to wood burn. But they mean the same thing. So if I wanted,
Yeah.
so I can turn a major scale into, let's say, natural minor by making a few alterations. I need to flat scale degree 3, bring it down a half step, flat scale degree 6, bring that down a half step, and flat scale degree 7, and bring that down a half step. If I were to sing this in movable do, because I'm making this flatting alteration, it would be may instead of me, lay instead of la, and te instead of t. All right. So this would sound like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay. On my fretboard, you see scale degree 3. That's referencing may in a scale. Now, why don't I use me? Is because on most guitars, the first guide is placed to mark the 3rd fret, and the 3rd fret on this type of instrument references scale degree flat 3. And so I can use the information on my guitars to pick out whatever scale I want. Let me grab my slide here. I'm going to play a major scale. Okay, so we have 151. We're pretty much in tune. Do. Now, I know where flat 3 is. Flat 3 is a half step away from re, so I know where re is. See, half step away from re. I know where mi is a half step above flat 3. Because may is a half step below mi. Scale degree 4, and then I just follow 5, 6. T is a half step. If I can bring it in. T is a half step away from scale degree 1. So with these scale degree markers, I can pick out the major scale. Now with these scale degree markers, I could also pick out the parallel natural minor scale, because with these markers, I know where flat 3 is, I know where flat 6 is, and flat 7 is. With these scale degree markers, I also know where, for example, Dorian mode is. What's the difference between Dorian and natural minor? All we have to do is bring flat 6 back up to regular scale degree 6, major mode scale degree 6. This is Dorian mode. Oh, I should alter here. If we were looking at C Dorian, for example. All right. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. All right. And I could find that on my CBG because of my scale degree markers. So you're thinking, those of you out there, yeah, it's great to learn how to play scales, but how can I use this to figure out melodies? How can I use this to figure out chord progressions? When you start singing these scales enough, internalizing them, feeling them in your body, when you hear a melody, you start hearing the relationship between notes in terms of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Let's think of a melody or a part of a melody we could figure out here as an example. A folk song. The water is wide. Let's figure out the scale degrees for that song. First of all, is that song in a major or minor key? The water is wide, I cannot cross o'er.
I actually don't know that song.
Okay, let's pick a song that you know, Corey. Oh, do you know Scarborough Fair? When are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage.
I think I know that one. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure that was in a minor
Yes,
minor key. I know that.
You are correct. Scarborough Fair is indeed in a minor key. So we know right away that we're dealing with a minor mode of some sort. Now, diatonic scales fit into two modal categories. We have the major modes and we have the minor modes. The major modes always start do, re, mi. We have major mode, scale degree 3. All minor modes start do, sometimes re, sometimes ra, depending on the mode. Ra is flat 2, re is regular major scale degree 2. But minor modes always go do, something, may. So all minor modes have flat 3. Scarborough Fair fits in this category because, as Corey correctly recognized, it's a piece in a minor mode. Which mode we're going to try to figure out. So let's look at our minor modes. I know, guys, we're getting a little nerdy here, but that's okay. I used to teach music theory and ear training. This system cannot be beat.
It's been years since I've done this too, so so a lot of this is kind of a refresher because I haven't played my sax for a long.
Well, I'm glad. Yes, it's been a little bit since I taught an ear training course. I used to teach. That was my mainstay, my staple. That's how I made my money in the past. But not anymore. It's a good refresher. It's a good refresher for me too, and keeping these relationships internalized really does help you pick out your music faster. And so we're going to put out our minor modes. Let me grab another pen. Our reference, of course, our major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's our reference scale, so we're always going to have this one up here. 5, 6, 7, 1. Let's turn this into natural minor, which is going to help us hear the notes we need to hear for Scarborough Fair. Also known as Aeolian mode, So to make a major scale into natural minor, we need to flat scale degree 3, flat 6, flat 7. And it's much easier to sing with solfeggio, so we'll use the syllables for flat 3. The syllable for flat 3 is may. Syllable for flat 6 is lay. Syllable for flat 7 is te. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do. Now we're really going to internalize this by drilling on the scale, and that will help us get the notes we want for Scarborough Fair. Drills that I used to do, singing the scale up and down, singing the following pattern. Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, te, do, do. And this is more useful than singing arpeggios. Do, me, sol, me, do. This pattern really helps you internalize the scale. Just a few minutes of doing this in the session, I can skip around in the minor scale and you'll be able to pick out the notes yourself without me singing them. Let's sing the scale up and down. Follow along with me. This is do. It doesn't matter what note this is. It's scale degree 1. That's what it is. A minor scale in this case. Here we go. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do, te, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And now we're going to do the pattern. Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, te, do, do. Now I'm going to pick a note, and I bet you're going to be able to hear it in your head. Let me do the pattern again, and then I'll pick a random note. I bet you're going to hear it in your head. Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, te, do, do. Fa. How many of you in the chat heard that in your head? It's okay if you didn't. That just means you got to drill the scale some more. Internalize it. Feel it.
Yeah.
Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, te, do. Sol. How many of you were able to hear sol in your head? If you didn't, you got to sing the pattern again. Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, te, do. Re. So, once you can identify scale degrees, te, fa, la, sol, do. Once you're able to identify the scale degrees, if I were to play them, you can identify what they are, then you're ready to figure out the song you want to play and find those scale degrees on your CBG. Let's do it reverse. I'm going to sing a note, and then you tell me what scale degree I'm singing. And you can use scale degree numbers or solfeggio. Remember, we're in minor mode, so if you hear scale degree 3, remember, it's flat 3. This is do, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do, te, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Now let's do the pattern to really internalize a scale. Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, te, do, do. What scale degree am I singing right now? Put it in the chat. Or Corey, you can tell me which one you think it is. This note. What scale degree?
That's 4?
Close. Scale degree 5. I was singing sol, scale degree 5. So you were one off. No worries. So if this is sol, do, do, let's pick another scale degree. Let's go for it. Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, te, do, do. How about this note? What is this scale degree? What do you think, Corey? Anyone in the chat? Remember, this is do. What do you think? Where does it want to go? Up or down? To you.
3.
Very close. Corey, it wants to go to flat 3. Yes. Fa, me, re, do. It really wants to do that. Fa, me, re, do. So I was singing scale degree 4 or fa. Let's do another one. Do, re, me, re, do. Fa, me, re, do. Sol, la, te, do, do. What note is this? Where does it want to go? Up or down? Sort of. What do you think? This is do. This is a no.
That's do.
Very close to do. This is te, do, no. So you got to keep do really, really close to you all the time. This is the method to help you internalize those relationships. And it doesn't matter what do you pick. So you could transpose easily using this system. Again, we're memorizing relationships, not pitches. This is something you could drill on your own. That'll help you internalize the relationships between the scale degrees. And now we're going to figure out using this method, Scarborough Fair. I'm going to pull up. Okay, we know that Scarborough Fair is in a minor key, so I'm going to put it up here. We're going to stick to natural minor for now, or Aeolian mode. Do. So now I'm going to internalize this do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do, te, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And then we're going to do our little pattern. Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, te, do, do. All right, so let's think of the song Scarborough Fair in this key. When are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Let's put out the lyrics, and that will help us keep track of the scale degrees we figure out. Don't ask me to spell Scarborough correctly. Maybe Liesel could do that. I'm just going to put scar. Let's figure out that much of the melody. There's like a little pause here before we get to parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Oh, Lawrence spelled it for me. Thank you. Okay, so if this is do, do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, te, do, do. What do you think is the first scale degree in this melody? When? Anyone in the chat? What's the first impulse, Corey? What do you think? When?
I would put it on 1.
You're correct. It is scale degree 1. Yes. So we got our first note. Let's see how long this note lasts. When are you? It lasts through when are you? So we just got the first 3 notes of the song. Now, let's figure out what scale degree we need for going. When are you going? What do you think? When are you going? When are you going? Any guesses in the chat?
I almost want to say flat third, but that sounds like it's too low.
Well, if it were flat 3, when are you do re mi? When are you going? When are you going? Doesn't quite go.
So it'd be
It's higher. When are you?
5, I
You
think.
are right. It's 5. When are you going?
Yeah.
Scale degree 5. So we can pick that out. We got our first 2 notes. So we can pick it out on our CBG using our scale degree markers. When are you going to, I guess it, to Scar. I think Scarborough has 3 different notes. Scarborough. So Scar and row are the same notes. So once we figure out what Scar, where does it want to go? Up or down? In the scale. I feel like it wants to go down. Scar. What scale degree is that, guys?
I thought it was flat third, maybe there.
Very
I was
close.
flat third.
You're very close. It's scale degree 2. Re do. It wants to pull
I'm
down.
in the right neighborhood, just not, at the right address yet.
Yeah, and the thing is, as you're sitting down and you're picking out the scale degrees, it's like, oh, I think it's this. It's like, no, that's not quite right, because you have your instrument in front of you, and it's like, oh, that's not quite right, but it's close to here. So it gives you a good guiding point to finding the notes you want to play. So here we have Scarborough. Now, bo is just a step up in the scale. So we got flat 3 here. Scarborough. And then it returns to scale degree 2. And then fair. What is it? Scarborough Fair. What does that feel like to you?
2? No.
Close. Scarborough Fair. Have we arrived home?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It is though, again.
We're
It is
back.
1.
Yeah, we're back to scale degree 1. Okay, so let's play the melody on our CBG using our scale degree markers. Those are the scale degree markers I'm referencing. When are you? Scale degree 5. Scale degree 2. Scale degree 3. Back to 2. All right, we just picked out the first few notes of Scarborough Fair on our CBG using our scale degree. We heard the scale degrees first, and then we found them on string 1. We could also find them on string 3 because string 1 and 3 in 1-5-1 tuning are an octave apart. So they have the same relationship in the scale. The middle string makes a nice drone to this. Very medieval sounding. The second half of the melody.
You said that was GAD. I like how that sounds a little bit better than GDG.
Well, this particular instrument,
It sounds a little more bluesy.
This one I have tuned. Again, I have to check it on my tuner, but I have this one usually tuned to AEA. And the reason
AEA, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that one out, that tuning.
This one I call one of my soprano CBGs because it's using the last 3 strings from a steel acoustic guitar set, the high strings basically. You can grab different keys if you use different strings. You could try it with the strings that you have. If it gets too stiff, maybe try a CBG that's strung differently, and you might be able to get A, E, A on it. But the reason I have this in AEA is because this is a good key for me to sing in. Yeah, I have CBGs tuned in different keys depending on what I'm playing. But for the ones that I need to sing with, I'm a medium-high voice, so something tuned EBE, it's hard for me to sing that low. Now we're going to figure out the second half, the little bit harder, and then we get the idea. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. We're gonna get that.
Because I should actually be going now because it's I have my dinner there tonight. So
Okay, Corey. Well, you could
yeah.
you could catch us on the replay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your help. I'll be able to. Actually, if I didn't restring my my CGB last night or CBG, I'd actually it would have been a lot easier to help to kind of pick melody. But right now I'm just kind of stretching the strings. I tried it earlier on, and now it's way out of tune again because I snapped the string last night. I had to restring it.
Enjoy your restringing and happy Thanksgiving to you, because your Thanksgiving is different from ours, and enjoy.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day, Corey. Thanks for joining us. That was so nice to have guest on and willing to participate in the live and ask us questions in real time. I know it could be a little nerve-wracking, but thank you, Corey, for participating in our live. I hope you enjoy the replay and find it useful. And again, I'm open to questions. Feel free to ask questions directly in the YouTube comments. Actually, that helps with the algorithm. That'll help get this tutorial pushed out to more people. So, cool beans. So, let's finish finding the scale degree. We're not going to do the whole song, but we're going to do the next phrase. So far we've done, when are you going to Scarborough Fair? All right, so let's figure out the scale degrees for parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Let's get our scale degree 1 back in our mind. This is Do. When are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Let's figure out the scale degrees. Parsley. Parsley are 2 notes. Parsley. Parsley. Sage. Let's grab sage, because sage is easy. What scale degree is sage? Sage. What do you think, chat? Sage. Sage is scale degree 1, folks. All right. So we at least have sage. Parsley. So we can figure out parsley in relation to sage. Sage. That's the first part of parsley. Sage is scale degree 1. Par from parsley. What scale degree is that? Par. What scale degree is par from parsley? What do you think, guys? Any guesses in the chat? Scale degree 5. Sol, par, par. So we got sage and pars. We need parsley, parsley. Let's try flat 6. Let's try parsley sage as 5 flat 6 1 and see if we're right. Oh no, flat 6 is not the note. It's higher than that. Let's raise scale degree 6 up a half step to major mode 6. It isn't major mode 6 either. It's higher than that. Let's raise scale degree 6 up a half step. That brings us to flat 7. Minor mode 7. Let's see if that's it. It is! Parsley sage. I wasn't able to automatically hear this as flat 7, but I was able to hear parse and sage. And I knew that was in between those two notes. Through the process of elimination, we were able to find what scale degree we almost have our second phrase figured out. Parsley, sage, rose. What's rose? Sage, rose, sage, rose, sage, rose. What scale degree is rose? What do you guys think? Sage, rose. I'm leaning towards flat 7. Rosemary. Meh. Meh. That sounds like 5 to me. Mary. Mary. That sounds like major mode 6 to me, which indicates that maybe Scarborough Fair, if I'm right, is in Dorian mode. And again, the only difference between Dorian mode and natural minor is that natural minor has a flat 6 and Dorian mode has a major mode 6 from the major scale. We're going to test this out. Parsley sage may be 5, flat 7 1, flat 7 5, regular 6. Parsley sage rosemary and what's and? It's a step below scale degree 5, so it's got to be 4. Or maybe it's a little bit bigger. We'll test these scale degrees. And time is definitely scale degree 5. So, all right, so let's test out my theory here. And these are the scale degrees that I've picked out so far. 5, starting on parsley. 5, flat 7 1, flat 7 5 6, major mode 6, which would indicate, if I'm correct, that we're in Dorian mode 6 4 5. Let's see if these scale degrees work. And again, I'm going to pick out my notes using my scale degree markers that are hidden on the side of my CBG's neck here. All right, we're going to start with parsley. This is scale degree 1, so we have it as a reference. Par. Okay, so parsley sage is correct. 5, flat 7 1. Let's see, rose starts with flat 7. 5. And then we're going to go to major mode 6. Yes! Major mode 6 is correct. And then, and I pick scale degree for and. That's correct. And then time, scale degree 5. We found our notes. All right. Confirmed. We are in Dorian mode. So let's play parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Our scale degrees are 5, flat 7, 1 for parsley, sage. Rosemary is flat 7, 5, 6, major mode 6. And scale degree 4, thyme, scale degree 5. And again, folks, we picked this out by ear. And then we're using our scale degree markers on our diatonic 151 tune CBGs to pick out these melodies. All right. And all I'd have to do is practice grabbing those notes over and over again, and I could play the melody. So, any questions about this method, please include them in the comments. I will catch your questions in the comments after the replay has been published. And you know, folks, this method isn't just about picking out melodies. If you can hear scale degrees, you can also pick out chord progressions. Oh my goodness gracious, wait. I forgot to answer a very important part of Corey's question. He wants to add scale degrees to his necks, and he wasn't sure on where to place them, which fret markers and which scale degrees line up with each other. Let me take care of that part of the question right now. Just as a quick recap, the templates that I have mark off half steps in equal temperament, and half steps are the smallest space between notes in equal temperament. A slider can, of course, grab notes in between notes. What the fret markers indicate are half steps up the fingerboard. Those are half steps. Okay, you notice that I don't mark every single scale degree on the side of the neck. I mean, I could mark flat 2, 2, flat 3, 3, 4, sharp 4, or flat 5, flat 6, 6. I could do that, but then I just fill up the side of my neck with a chromatic scale, and that really doesn't help you to find things quickly. So I've chosen to mark the scale degrees that are marked by typical or traditional fingerboard markers on a guitar. The first dot on a guitar is in the position of flat 3 and is attached to the third fret marker. The second dot on a guitar fingerboard in the context of this CBG, in this tuning, 151 tuning, making this a diatonic instrument, the second marker is in the position of scale degree 4. So scale degree 4 is attached to fret number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scale degree 4 is attached to fret marker 5. I know that's confusing. Some people look on the side of my CBGs and are like, wait, that's not fret number 4, that's fret number 5. And then I explain, no, they don't demark fret number, they demark scale degree. Because I think of my fretless sliders as diatonic instruments. Flat 3 is attached to fret marker 3, the third fret marker. Scale degree 4 is attached to fret marker 5. Now the third dot that you see on the fingerboard of a guitar, in this context, demarks scale degree 5. Scale degree 5 is attached to fret marker 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Important note that the dot and the scale degree marker line up and they're placed above the fret. So this is attached to this is attached to this is attached to this. The next dot, in the context of this instrument, demarks scale degree 6, regular major mode 6. It's attached to fret marker 9. And then the two dots, which indicate the octave, to mark scale degree 1 and are attached to fret number 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go. That's how you place your scale degree markers on your fingerboard or on the side of your fingerboard. All right. Again, folks, let me know in the chat if you have any questions about scale degree marker placement. Let me know if you need any clarifications. If you're watching the replay, feel free to send me your questions in the comments. All right. So now I have fully answered Corey's question. Thank you for your question. This was fun for me. It's been a while since I taught anything in ear training. It was nice to be nerdy again and revisit these topics. Okay, changing screens. Y'all know this aphorism, I've been talking about the Picasso aphorism that says, inspiration exists, but it's got to find you working. There's proof of that. You guys all know I'm constantly working on many things at the same time. And I'm always, therefore, always getting ideas. The other day, while Lawrence and I were on our way to dinner, we went to go have sushi. It struck me. I knew what major arcana card I needed to make a t-shirt with next. Let's see. This is the one I've created already. And many of you have purchased the High Priestess of Diddley Bow's t-shirt, and I am so grateful. Bless you. It is my favorite t-shirt design so far. By the way, folks, all of the CBGs that my characters are holding, those are instruments that I've actually built. The instruments exist in the world. I don't have all of them with me because I've sold most of them. I still have the Diddley Bow High Priestesses holding. You see Mona Lisa holding a Perdomo CBG above my head. That's my father's instrument. It's currently with him. I built it for him. This was the first Major Arcana CBG t-shirt design I put together. And with Halloween coming up, I got the idea to create this one. What I did was take the High Priestess image and bring it into Gemini as the base image, and it generated the death card for me. Now it was holding a generic looking cigar box guitar, and I asked it to remove the guitar but to leave the hand placements of death where they were so that I could Photoshop, or in my case GIMP, my CBG into the hands of the character on the card. And so I will be releasing this design on a t-shirt. I find it amazing how Gemini was able to contextualize all of the elements of the High Priestess image and transform them to create the death card. You notice that the High Priestess has the sun behind her head. The sun is still present in the death card, but it's sinking in the background. High Priestess has kind of like a pine forest behind her, and there's a forest behind death, except the forest is dead. The thing is, it's not a totally depressing image because you see right next to death, on to the left and to the right, you see seedlings popping up. It's definitely a beautiful representation of transition. We have the sunset, we have the dead forest, but we have a new forest coming up. It included water in the death image, which was not in the High Priestess image. But water in many cultures is a symbol of renewal. And so that's very interesting. I made sure in my prompt to try to keep to the symbology in the Rider Waite deck. And so you see that Death is wearing black armor, symbolizing, yeah, you can protect from a lot of things in life, but no one can protect themselves from death. And the white flowers, the white roses specifically, as a symbol of purity and renewal. I like that both images have flowers. The pomegranate symbol with the high priestess symbolizing abundance and fertility, and with Death, the white roses. So a lot of nature symbols. And I like that Gemini kept the styling of the cards more or less the same. It copied filigrees that frame the high priestess. So very cool. I will put up a community post when it's available, and you will see it on my store shelf. You might recognize the cigar box guitar Death is holding. That's the latest slider I've completed. He is holding Cowboy in his hand. By the way, Cowboy is still for sale, so if you want to snatch him up, go to my website, psycheopera.com, go to my shop, and all of the buying details are there. And you can also hear recordings of Cowboy when you go to the listing. I don't know if this was a short or long stream. I don't know how long my first segment was, but definitely an enjoyable stream. Thank you for joining me, and I will leave you with my shameless plug. Here we go. Hey, fellow artist. It's Dr. Liza speaking to you as Mona Lisa, ready to share some truly exciting news and a massive thank you for your likes, your comments, and just your sheer presence here on my YouTube channel. We've hit a huge milestone. My channel is not eligible for fan funding. That includes my very own store shelf right here on YouTube, making it easier than ever for you to find my unique cigar box guitar themed apparel. My designs feature fun characters, like Mona Lisa, holding one of my favorite hand-built cigar box guitars. And while many of these instruments have found new homes, these designs allow me to continue to enjoy them, creating the perfect t-shirts, sweaters, or hoodies for wearing at CBG festivals, craft markets, and gigs. I've partnered with bonfire.com to fulfill my garments, which means that they ship internationally and are sourced only from responsible RAP certified manufacturers. Plus, you won't find my channel logo plastered all over these garments. The focus is purely on the art, the joy of the cigar box guitar, and my quirky characters. My website is discreetly placed just in case anyone asks where you snag such a unique piece. Because, let's be honest, you're interested in the art, not the brand, right? And hey, super subs, remember to use your promo code during checkout, by the way. For those of you who've been with me for a while, you know that this isn't just about making a living. It's about making a life. It's about building a world where I can spend my days immersed in the art of creation, sharing it with people who truly appreciate what I do, like you. Your support is helping me build that reality, and for that, I am eternally grateful. By the way, I'd love to hear from you. What other products would you like to see my designs on? Mugs? Notebooks? Or something entirely different? Let me know in the comments below. Your ideas will help me shape the future of this channel and these creations. Thank you again for everything, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Chaito. All right, folks, so I'm going to leave you with my diddly bow outro. Have a great weekend.